Hello, Galaxy. I'm Chris Pirillo. It's always an awkward silence there at the beginning as I make sure I'm pressing the right button and not unpressing it. That's happened in the past. Not fun when that happens. We've got a slightly different view, and hopefully you don't mind, at least for the amount of participants that we currently have in the feed. It really works out, and I'm able to throw the ticker above everything in this particular view, and I can toggle between a couple different views. Of course, this is all powered by StreamYard, who is a sponsor, as you can see up there, where I can move myself in that position. You can see it a little easier there. This is actually a separate video feed, a screen cap from the desktop, and sometimes I have, not Stable Diffusion, Electric Sheep running in the background. But when we have this amount of viewers, or right around there, I'm able to throw that particular video feed behind everybody else, and then the ticker runs across the top. I may have to set something else such that the bug actually goes elsewhere, but for now it'll work. You have to pardon as I lick my lips. No, I'm not drooling for no reason. I bit my lip the other day and then kept rebiting it, and then last night bit it again, and it's like one of those things that I don't know why, but when you bite your lip, it'll never heal again. It's like I'm going to be doomed to have this bitten lip. So it's a little sore. It's a little owie. My life is currently in flux. Over the next few days, things are going to be, well, Monday certainly. I'll be in a different room. So keep that in mind as you come back. Like, what's Chris doing? What's going on? This chair will still be here. And the camera pointed at the chair as I get things staged and set up for something like that. Tonight, I am going to be watching the Tetris movie after TLDR. That's something that I've been looking forward to. I've been a fan of Tetris from the very beginning, so I don't want to view it as a documentary, but just to kind of get a feel for what might have happened, dramatized, obviously. I'm happy to be able to watch that tonight. I'm also in the process of completing a few more Isaac figures to send off to Tom from the Orville, and I'm printing a few more than I was expecting to print, if only because, well, maybe he wants to give them to other cast and crew, who might also be interested in these figures. Certainly, actors who might have like Isaac in one way, shape, or form. And I'll probably be printing more when there's a new variant available. It's just the model's currently not available, and I kind of want to get a package off to Tom sooner rather than later, if only to build off the momentum. So I did it in a chrome filament using Polymaker. I didn't like how it turned out on the Prusa at all. There were like layer lines, and I think it's possible that maybe I just wasn't running hot enough with it, but I don't want to clog the nozzle either, given that it's a silk. Yeah, I know, Star Wars is happening. Star Wars all the time. Star Wars Celebration is right around the corner too. I don't know if y'all live in the UK or are going to the UK. That would be awesome. I'm not there. I want the Darth Vader Revenge of the Jedi figure, even though it's a Black Series. That's the one I want. There's that merch, and then there's some other merch that I think would be kind of neat as well, personally. But Queso has been playing off and on Star Wars Galaxies. You can see him. I think he's currently taking a break, but he's got it pulled up, which is just fine. Anybody is more than welcome to join anytime, day or night. We got it open. You're too poor to go to Celebration. As much as I love Star Wars, like, I find it challenging even to get to Anaheim, let alone the UK. And having a family kind of changes things too. Like, if it was just me on my own, I might figure out plans, but as it stands, probably not in the near future. So in tech news, now that we've talked about a bit of geekery, there are a few things have happened over the past day, including, I think this hit my radar by way of someone who I used to work with, who's now gone independent. There was a suggestion that E3 was going to get canceled, and it turns out that indeed E3 has been canceled. And so that includes both online and offline, both. If only because there just hasn't been any momentum around it, right? I mean, not forget, set aside budgets, right? No engagement. And being an event producer, I totally understand this. Totally get it. Like, this is something that frustrated me at a substantially smaller scale, not even in the same ballpark, with Gnome decks. Like, we do the event, and then there was like no activity until the next event. And I don't know if that model is necessarily as viable as, you know, creating an event or an event series and connecting with people and continuing to connect with people as time goes on. So I feel that this is, you know, I'm not going to say a trend, but I feel that the time may be upon us where these large events are going to be, let's say, sidelined by smaller events. Microsoft can run their own events. Nintendo can run their own events. Sony can run their own events, and they get as much out of it. Maybe they don't connect with community, but, you know, there are other you know, places where they might be able to connect with community, say like TwitchCon. And if I was more of a gamer, I absolutely, you know, would be, you know, more heavily invested in it. I am interested in going to a TwitchCon at some point. Certainly, I wish it was in Seattle. Man, if it was in Seattle, I'd probably go to a TwitchCon before I went back to an ECCC, though I'd love both, right, for completely different reasons. It's gone, or at least it's pining for the fjords. So things haven't looked very well for video game stuff this year. There's G4, now E3, a lot of games out there being created, and I expect a lot of those games being created are just going to increase over time, given that it's just a matter of time before AI optimizes workflow, production, everything, stem to stern. I mean, it's crazy awesome what's happening in and around, whether you call it AI or patterns. It's transformative. And you might think, oh, it's not going to touch gaming. You have no idea. You have no idea what's upon us in terms of what AI is. I mean, I was batting back and forth with a couple of people on Twitter at this time. Not really. I did a bit of batting back and forth on Mastodon as well. And actually the conversation went fairly well in both spots, which was nice to see, because Mastodon, of course, is different than Twitter in the sense that it's not global. You have ways of connecting with other people, certainly, typically using hashtags or counting on boosts to accelerate. But then otherwise, it's this organic engagement that I find myself retweeting when someone replies, and it's a valid reply, because right now on Mastodon you can't quote tweet or quote post, because they're called posts there, they're not tweets. Tweets are just for Twitter. Of course, I've been shit posting mostly on Mastodon, not so much dunking on Twitter while on Mastodon. It's easy. It's like shooting fish in a barrel. Other news, as you can see in this ticker, Google Assistant Division is reorganizing to focus on Bard. They need to, big time. Holy cow, do they need to work on Bard? Like, I don't even think of going to Google. I don't. Like, I've gone to, like, for brainstorming and data dumping and structuring things, I have used ChatGPT 3.5, like the free version, so much over the past couple of days. Man, I've been living on ChatGPT. Living on it. Because I've been needing to iterate and brainstorm and brain dump around what it is I would like to put together, specifically for CreatorTech.net. And that's something that I feel is it's going to pay off. Theoretically, will pay off. I know that inevitably there are times where I wish I was better at prompting, in terms of being, you know, understanding what it is I'm asking for to get the thing that I want to get out of it. And in many ways, I kind of wish, and maybe there's a service that basically improves your prompts. Improve the prompt, right? Here's the prompt. How can I improve this prompt? Like, give me a way to improve this prompt. And I do it kind of just the opposite with images. With images, I just basically type something like a Midjourney, and I don't have an active subscription, but I basically go there and say Darth Vader eating a pie, and then just watch the magic happen. I don't get down and dirty with the details. I kind of just let it go, and have loved it as a prospect. Today I was looking for, and yesterday I was looking for something that could turn my lengthy document into like a PowerPoint presentation, and nothing has done that. I tried importing I've tried 2 different services. Beautiful AI, I don't think does it, unfortunately. And then Tome, I tried Tome, and Tome did not work either. It was, it unfortunately, it broke up the document, but it did not create compelling slides as easily as I was expecting it to create compelling slides. Now, the next hope is, the next hope would be specifically, the Google integration, and I guess Google is starting to roll out, whether you call it beta, alpha, whatever access, you're using your Gmail address. That's what I was waiting for. I mean, I'd really love that within Google Docs, because I basically work within Google Docs. So if I could prompt from within there, great. But again, that's where I need Bard to be better than ChatGPT, because right now it's not even close. Not even close. Not even the same ballpark, dude. Bard is a joke. So I'm appreciative of having those features, but Google, they're right to have to reevaluate the resources on those teams. Big time. In fact, I've got to, and I haven't done it because I haven't had the mental bandwidth to do it. Bard. There we go. I got my my view in fewer than 2. I've got those videos to record, and I may end up shooting those tomorrow to stack for next week. Bard is trying to be ultra safe. Yeah, but that's the problem. I like the edginess of ChatGPT. Yeah, you can send a request. It's easy to do. If you're wondering, Mr. DJ Silva, super easy. Ow. Oh, the Twitch stream team. Yeah. Okay, hang on. I thought you meant streaming into here. I haven't really updated it in a while, but we do have the Locker Gnome stream team. Let's see if I can get to... there was a way... Is this it? Ugh. Locker Gnome Twitch team members. No, that's not it. Yes is the answer, but I don't know. I don't have the direct link to where to do it right now. But you may have to remind me, Mr. DJ Silva, when I'm not doing TLDR. I'll dig it up. So I feel that this is the stream team has... It's there, it's as a foundation. Whether or not people use it is completely up to them. I don't really have any, because Locker Gnome was basically, when I started the Locker Gnome stream team, a lot of it was 3D printing. A lot of the 3D printing stuff has moved on to the MakerDeck stream team. Though even then, there's not a lot of activity around it. I don't know, Twitch stream teams, that's a feature they still need to kind of bake just a bit more. Just a tiny bit more. Just a bit. According to a document, Twitter plans to exempt its top 500 advertisers and 10,000 most followed, previously verified organizations from paying $1,000 a month for a check mark. At this point, it's a farting joke. It's an absolute farting joke. It's a laughing stock. Ow. Did I rebite? Or is it healing? I don't think I rebit it. The good news is mouths heal fast. It's to the point where the only people who seem to be buying it are the people who have zero clout and are looking to purchase clout. I don't know. That's just the way it seems to be. And it's the wrong message to send. Like that, and that's probably the tweet. And the data supports it. Data supports this, but basically the only people who seem basically a majority you're listening to me tweet of users buying into Twitter Blue are simply doing it to buy out. And data supports this, but basically a majority of users buying into Twitter Blue are doing it to buy clout without doing the actual work to earn clout. And I tweeted it. It's a controversial take, but it's true. I mean, now I see a quote-unquote badge, right? And I'm just like, I can't. In a couple days, when they roll that back, I can't trust anything anymore. I'm like, well, I don't know if I can trust this. Like, how do I know whether or not this person is legitimate, right? Like, so they bought into it. Great, that doesn't help. Just because they bought into it, it just tells me they've got $8 a month to spend and they're clout chasing, basically. So I'm not. There's nothing I'm interested in paying for right now. That could very well change. I certainly wouldn't be paying $1,000 a month. I don't think that makes anywhere near the amount of sense. I didn't. If I had anything to invest that into, I'd probably say Facebook ads. If I had something to buy into. Uh-oh. Friends and family plan maybe launching soon for Xbox. Oh, that's nice. We don't have a lot of Xbox users here, though, right now. We don't even have any PC users, apart from me using the PC that I'm using this connected video for now is on the PC. But then I also have I thought I had this set up prior. I have to. It's going to be interesting to see how this next week goes, because I don't know what's going to be here, what's going to be there, what view we're going to have, how much I'm going to be at the desk, how much I'm going to be away. I will IRL as much as I can. IRL is when you go out and about, so that you get there, and then I'll often talk when I'm driving. That's kind of fun. I never could have imagined that at some point in the future, back in the day, that I'd be able to live stream specifically from my phone. I remember the cumbersome work that I had to do to have a laptop and then a USB, an LTE. What was an LTE at the time? 3G dongle connected to a laptop in order to do mobile streaming. It was just such a hassle, massive hassle. And now, have smartphone, will travel. What's not to like about that? It's just so it's clean, it's efficient, it's easy. An update on that open letter to pause AI. We talked about this yesterday. Some signatories are walking back their positions. Others apparently turned out to be fake, which just makes it look more and more like a hit piece. And I said this yesterday. It's like they're trying to tear down OpenAI and say, whoa, OpenAI needs to pause, because of this, that, and the other thing. Hey, yeah, let's be cautious. Certainly. But the thing about that is they're only saying it so that they can catch up. That's my feeling. You need to catch up. Sorry, but pausing, I'm not OpenAI, but I basically say, yeah, we are, very concerned about, how this could, evolve, but this is what we're doing. We've got these sets of guidelines before we hit AGI, artificial general intelligence, and, we're plowing full speed ahead. And as they add more features, I want more DALL-E integration with ChatGPT. I want more OpenAI integration with ChatGPT specifically. And maybe that's possible in a plugin right now. And then I'd probably pay for it. I'd probably pay for ChatGPT before I repaid for Midjourney today. That could very well change. And I know this is something that, you know, you may not think about. You may not have even used ChatGPT, but I implore you. Like, I needed to think of like 10 things that you got to keep in mind when you use a microphone on a webcast. Done. And most of them were fine. 2 of them were a little repetitive, but I basically whipped it out in no time at all. I just said, I know what I'm thinking. This can write it, and it can write it better than I could, and it can write it faster. One person responded, and it kind of, I mean, it didn't upset me, but when I said I'm looking for that service to convert basically a Word document to a PowerPoint, and he said, hang on just a second. He said, your brain. And I'm like, but he misses the point of what the I guess idea is. Hang on, Jedi. What? Yeah. Honey, I'm good. So it's powerful, and why would I not use my brain to save time? Like, why would I expend myself not being a designer, not being someone who necessarily can summarize things very well? How could I do it? So I was looking for a tool, still very much am looking for a tool to effectively encapsulate or summarize or shorten, things that could otherwise be rather verbose. And I try to be as concise as I possibly can. So either way, that's something that I feel is kind of counterintuitive, to not use the tools at your disposal. Or I'll put it to you this way: other people are. Other people using the tools. Like, if I don't use the tools, I'm going to fall behind. If I don't think about how to contextualize ChatGPT in my workflow, and I have, oh my God, where was this? Where was this? Oh man, I would have killed for the ChatGPT 4 years ago. Killed for it. And I know, I mean, if you're someone who's just only interested in the latest iPhones and Android devices, I'm sure general technology discussions, aren't interesting to you. But this is absolutely, it's fascinating to me how quickly it's taken hold. And I say of culture. ChatGPT is basically the iPhone. It's basically Google. It's got a brand, and it's pushing the industry forward in a way that I have not seen it pushed forward in eons, and that's exciting. That is absolutely exciting, and yeah, I'm going to find my place in it. I having done, a little bit of groundwork for CreatorTech.net, I envision effectively like a product hunt for Creator Tech, and almost like a full-fledged community construct that would effectively be the resource, a definitive resource for creator tools. That would be, my ideal scenario. In there, AI. The latest tools that use AI, but they are specifically for creators or creatives. And then on top of that, being able to host events, whether they're local, virtual, wherever they happen to be. That to me is exciting. And yeah, AI has helped me develop, my thoughts, get them down, maybe not organize them, but that's where I am. Like, in terms of like all the data dumping, I got to figure out how to take all that data and potentially push it into a deck. And there's nothing out there that I know of that can effectively summarize a document in a similar way. It's because it's very outline. It's constructed like an outline, and I could take it bit by bit. But like, I just want to, if I could just copy it onto a page and then press a summarize button or turn this into a nice slide, I'd be good to go. That's the power. Like, why use my brain to do something that my brain has not been trained to do, when I can use my brain to find something that can do the thing that I want it to do? So that's, to me, that's where the brain sits. I don't think it's lazy. This is where I do want to get better at prompting, trying to figure out how to get better at prompting. However, sometimes I don't know enough to better set the context of what it is that I'm asking for, right? So not quite Dunning-Kruger syndrome, as in I'm a UX expert, no. It's more like I don't know what questions to ask to get a user experience that I would find compelling. I don't know what questions to ask to better be able to, get answers to questions or brainstorm, from one point on. But anyway, that's, I've been, knee deep in that. Again, I've been looking for effectively a collaborator, for the lack of a better word. I did just reach out to a local outfit that this is kind of in their wheelhouse, to potentially, work with them on a very unique partnership. But I'm basically looking for something like that could get me to basically build this, to be able to springboard it into events. Events would be the value add. Events would be the way that it generates, potentially generates revenue beyond, like, on-site subscriptions, etc. I feel there's a deeper value that can be sold here, and especially with, statistics and analytics, to know what's happening, and continuing to look for ways of optimizing the experience to where I would be able to have this work. So anyway, I'm going to try to get creative with how this gets done. You're going to try to get very, very creative, in the hopes that I could help launch the industry's definitive resource for creator tech, because I'm a creator. I like technology. I swim in it, but it's definitely not like iPhone talk. We'll get there when a new iPhone comes out, but I'm not going to talk about the iPhone when there's really nothing to talk. I mean, I didn't really talk about the updates that they rolled out. NG says, I think finding the best prompt is always going to be a bit of a moving target. Each model tweak, this prompt syntax gets tweaked. See, I feel, more than anything, I feel that the prompt engineering is actually going to go away, because it's going to be able to understand more as you, like, I can write something very succinct, and it would flesh it out, or give me options, around what would be a better prompt than just this, and then structure it akin to that. And I feel that would be the way that would work. Is that my tagline? I feel, Hugo, my tagline is, creating the future, or curating the future of creativity. So we're curating the future of creativity. Like, this is the future, creativity, technology, and we're curating. So I feel that would be a good tagline. I wouldn't want to say community. I wouldn't want to say collaboration. I would say we're curating. That's what we're doing. Because we would have the events, the website, right, or the community, and we're talking about the future. Tech just so happens to be the thing that we're rallying around. So I feel that would be a decent tagline that would apply to both the events as well as the website. That I feel is a tremendous value add. So I don't know. I'll probably pivot around that as a tagline. My tagline needs to be on shirts. Possibly. Although I'm not sure that would... I've got a pseudo logo. I don't know if it's going to be the final product logo, but something close to it. The C that looks like an old CGA C. Kind of vintage in that sense. Vintage tech. Yeah, so I don't have... I've written down... I have tried not to get too into the weeds with it. The industry's definitive resource. Well, I'd love that. That would be a goal. In fact, the goal, I'm just adding this as a purpose, to become the industry's definitive index for creator tech. Huh?
I know how much you want.
Oh boy, I better be careful. I bit my lip.
Did you bit it?
If you're doing more, we gotta get through it.
Well, I figured I get kind of mad when you take them with us. Cut up.
Eat what we can now, because remember, we're gonna be... I don't know what we're gonna be. Yeah, I'll take more. To become the industry's definitive index for creator tech. That's a goal. We're not there now, but that would be a goal.
I might do it after getting us to bed. said she's tired. She might go to bed around 8. So I might come up after she's closed.
That's fine. Index. Index, I feel. Index or database? Which one sounds better? I feel index works better because then you can kind of browse through an index. It's building a profile of your prompts and its responses to eventually tailor its responses to expectations. Yeah, and I think that totally makes sense. Oh, it'll build a profile of your use. That's why they want you to give a thumbs up. Oh, okay. But does that get smarter per thread or per account? Right now. I'm not sure. Okay, I'm eating. I'm asking you questions. It's probably time I'm eating because I'm a little hungry. And when I have food in front of me, do you have this problem? You eat the food that's in front of you. That's my problem. For now, I don't know. It may be smarter as a whole for now, but I think long term, maybe per account, maybe per profile per account. If I knew that, I would use it more. Gotcha. No problem, Hugo. No problem. And by the way, thank you for looking at the document I sent. I appreciate that. I mean, it's long, but the idea is that it would be there. I sent Hugo the link. I mean, I send it to y'all. It's not a big deal. I sent the link to him to look at how I was trying to, as a product manager, trying to flesh out the expectations for what this site would be, effectively, a PRD. And I feel like it just puts a finer point on what it is that I would be looking for. And I got to thank a lot of that context for, like, what do I need to be thinking of? What needs to be covered? What needs to be done? I don't know. It's possible, as I was going through it, it may be possible to do something around WordPress. And build something in and around WordPress and go at a WordPress thing. I mean, that's possible. I don't know. I'm not a WordPress guy, but there's like BuddyPress, BuddyBoss. There are extensions. So I submitted something to BuddyBoss asking, how could I get this done? I sent him a link to that, to this page. Like, I sent him to this. I'm like, this is what I'm looking for. And this is what basically, could I or should I use you? How much would it cost to get something like this done and hosted, etc.? To do a custom. Figure out how much it costs. Now, they're like in the neighborhood of like $10,000 a month. I'm like, yeah, not going to happen. But I would find a way to make this an investment. I would. Including finding sponsorship in some way, shape, or form. And launching it with a sponsorship. And again, the site would be there to fuel the events and vice versa, right? But my head is very much in the event strategy right now. Oh, sorry, we've reached over the allotted users for that particular view, so let me flip there. It's long because it's thought out, not because you're verbose, at least in this instance. Okay, good. Because I don't want to be incomplete. I want to give the developer or development team a feel that I've thought about this. I understand what it is I'm looking for. This is what I feel it could be. You know, these are the features that I would want to have. You know, it makes sense. To me, at least. Anyway, yeah, I didn't even get into forums and groups and things like that. Not even close. I probably should add features, forums, and groups. Though that's probably something like an eventuality. Like I don't want to get into the whole need for moderation. You got a zucchini there, or is that a cucumber?
I love pickles.
I think it's a cucumber. Yeah. It was a pickle. Okay, hun, not in front of the mic. Thank you. Because it's just not a good sound. Okay, I'm gonna wrap up for the live or for the TLDR session here, and then we'll just keep talking because I'll be batting things back and forth with y'all over at the. We're going 24/7, folks. This is not something that ends when the video recording ends. I'll still be geeking out, but again, you want to. This is where my head is. This is the. I see new headlines, and these are the headlines that trip my trigger. But you want to talk tech? I'm literally everything. Well, has been geeky in general, but dang near everything I've talked about tonight has tech in it. I'm talking about creating something new. I'm talking about using technology to build something new, again, for the nth time, right? And trying to do it differently than I might have done before. So thanks again for tuning in. If you did to the recording, or if you're still watching live, it's streaming 24 hours a day, 7 days a week at live.pirillo.com. We'll see you later.